Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Mike Baker here, Green Check. So we did a warranty inspection for a homeowner 2 days ago. This is a home that's 10 or 11 months old. And they had heard about us through a home inspector. Home inspector says, hey, I always recommend that you bring in our building performance and mold nerd, Mike with Green Check, which was awesome. I appreciate that. And went in, did an inspection, took samples out of the attic and a few of the rooms, found a bunch of moisture intrusion points, some things that the homeowner needs to maintain, which were great because they didn't know that. A couple things that the builder needs to come back and polish up, small things. And then we got the mold results back late in the day yesterday. And in the attic, I had noticed some mold growth, which is not terribly rare in an attic, right? Your attic is outside. But we got back to test and it came back positive for Stachybotrys, right? Which Stachybotrys is the nasty, nasty black mold. So I'm like, holy cow, I very rarely see that in an attic. And I start looking through photos and what seems to have happened is possibly that lumber was left out, right? The lumber for the attic can be left out in the rain, gets wet, it gets tossed up in that attic, it gets covered up. There's insufficient ventilation and it doesn't get a chance to dry. And again, this is a very rare case. I mean, we always see mold in an attic. It's never a good thing to have mold in your attic, but some of that mold is outdoor mold that we expect to see in certain concentrations. And sometimes it gets out of control and you can have indoor air problems. But, now we're seeing real water damage indicators in this attic. And I don't like to be an alarmist. This is pretty darn rare. And, now this homeowner is going to have to go up through a pretty substantial remediation. And the builder's going to have to answer to that. Why was this created and how are we going to prevent it from happening again? So, just remember that being up to code doesn't necessarily mean that you're up to health standards, right? Being up to code doesn't necessarily mean that you have enough ventilation. These pretty roofs with all their hips and angles, and right from the street they look really pretty, but the problem is a lot of the rafter bays in the attic end with no ventilation, right? So you're able to bring in a little bit of air from below, but that air doesn't have anywhere to go. And I'll get to the top, the ridge beam in the top of a lot of homes that don't have full ridge venting, and I'll see mold growth right along that ridge. And most builders and inspectors and people who look at that go, it's just normal. It's not normal. It is not good. It's accepted because nobody knows how to fix it before it starts. Or maybe it costs a few extra bucks. Maybe instead of having the pretty countertop, you've got to put a little bit of money into energy efficiency and home health to get these things right. To not have indoor air problems, to not create problems, structural problems, rotting problems, moisture problems, things that you're going to look at in 5-10 years and you're going to say, shoot, now I've got $50,000 in renovations to do just to get my home to feel good, right? And the reason that this has become such a backburnered issue is because people sell their homes in 3 years, 5 years, sometimes 5 years max. I see a lot of homeowners that have been in their home for a year and they get a mold inspection from us. We do a building performance evaluation. We look through the whole home, outside to inside, attic, top to bottom, and we say, hey, listen, here's what you should be doing over the next year or so to get this home performing properly, right? And the homeowners who have been there for a year or 2 or 3 years are going, I'll probably sell this home in 2 years. I'm not going to bother. Is this going to fail the home inspection? And I have to look at it and honestly say yes or no. And sometimes sometimes the answer is no, this will not fail a home inspection most likely, which is sad, right? These things should fail home inspections. It's not the home inspector's fault, it's the homeowner's fault, right? As homeowners, we need to begin demanding higher levels of pass-offs, right? If as a homeowner, you're saying, will this fail a home inspection if I have mold and I have moisture issues? And you pass a home inspection, well, you just passed off a home that you knew had problems. Whose fault is that? Is that you were the inspector? No, you made that choice as a seller, right? So sellers keep making this choice and buyers keep making the choice to buy into homes that they don't plan on being in for more than 3 or 5 years. And I hear it all the time. Am I going to fail the inspection? I say, well, maybe, maybe not. They go and roll that dice some of that time. Whether they pass or fail, what happens is they go to the next home and repeat the process. They stay in the next home for 3-5 years, right? And they keep passing off these sick homes because they're having problems, and they really think that buying the next home is going to fix that problem when they're not handling the systematic issues. So again, this is a daily occurrence. I do these inspections every day. Every once in a while, I come across a homeowner who says, yeah, I'm going to be here for 5, 10, maybe 12 years. Let's go ahead and get this right? And then we help them manage that project, get it right, and they have great indoor air quality. It raises the value of their home. If you go look at Remodeler Magazine, every year Remodeler Magazine does a comparison of how much you spend on a home remodel for a different thing, whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, energy efficiency, a pool, all these things. How much of that money that you spent goes towards actually increasing the home value? And you can go look at it yourself. Don't take my word for it. I don't own the magazine, but they measure different things every year. When they measure insulation, right, energy efficiency, the value per dollar spent is 117%. That means if you spent $10,000 on an insulation project, it's going to increase your home value more than the $10,000 you spent. Well, why is that? One, you're doing a quality thing that's going to increase the longevity of the home, but two, you're also saving money on your bills, right? And that hidden win behind all that is air quality. You're going to have less mold. You're going to have less leaks from those ducts into the attic causing moisture problems. The air within the home is going to feel healthier and crisper. When you're having a lower relative humidity because you've done the physics of the home properly, right? You're having the proper balance of moisture in the home. People tend to increase that air conditioning a degree or two, right? So you're not having to cool the air down as far to get the relative humidity come down for that air to not feel so thick. So people get a degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees change on their AC, and they're keeping it in the home for longer, and they've got proper air purification and air exchange, so the air actually is healthier. Magically, their bills go down. These projects pay for themselves in 8 years, 10 years, 12 years max. So yes, is it a little bit of an investment? Of course, but it's going to pay for itself. You're going to be able to stay in your home for longer. So if you have a home that you're saying, yeah, I'm going to be here for at least 7, 8, 9 years, maybe 10, 12, or 15, especially if this is your forever home, call us. Let me give you a building performance evaluation. Let me tell you the things that need to happen. I'll give you a very good bookmark of where you're at, what you need to step on top of that to have a great indoor air quality, to have energy efficiency, to have healthy air exchange within the home. And then we can work on those projects over the course of a year or two and have a beautiful home. And if you decide to sell that home, you're selling a healthy, happy, efficient, comfortable home. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all of our affiliates, anybody who calls us, all of our clients, all of our customers, friends and family. Thank you. We love you guys. We appreciate you. You're the only reason that this is working is because people are talking positively about the work that we're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Green Check, Mike Baker. Have a great day.